Audi A5 Convertible in the sporty version, the Audi S5 Cabriolet. That is today on Autogefühl, your #1 resource for in-depth car reviews and your #1 community to discuss cars with Thomas. We're going to take a detailed look on exterior, interior and the sporty driving experience. Not only the S5, we will tell you everything about you need to know about the A5 Convertible in general, then also focus here on our sporty car in Misano Red, and we'll also give you some feedback on which version you should probably go for, also the different engines and so on. We'll give you all the information you might possibly want to know. And this one will be all again on Autogefühl in full HD, full screen and full length. Let's go! I really think that the A5 in general is one of the most beautiful cars there is on the market because it has just a simple design line, which I'll show you more in the side profile very soon. But starting at the front, this is the biggest difference to the predecessor generation. You can also check out the predecessor generation in our other video we did earlier. Here, all the lines on the hood are flowing towards the front grille, and I'm still a little bit puzzled about this. Maybe it's a little bit too much. What do you think? The S version here features this more matte front grille, also with the S badge, also stronger lower bumpers, and it will look similar if you just go for an S line package. The headlights standard come with xenon, then the S5 comes with LED, or you can go for that optional, and then there's this second trim for the LED, the matrix LED also for the high beam, and that is also equipped with this very car. You can also see this beautiful line of the daytime running lights. 4.67 m or 15'3" is the total length of this A5 Convertible. And, well, the S5 is just a little bit longer, but it has just something to do with the overhangs with the bumpers in the front and the rear. In general, this new generation is 4 cm longer than the predecessor variant, so also not too much of a difference. But we will still have some more room on the interior. This will be very exciting. And also exciting is really this design line. Just, you see, it's basically one design line. That's what makes the car so beautiful. Same, for example, also accounts for design icons like the Jaguar E-Type. Then rims starts with 17-inch, 18 standard with the S model. But those ones here are the optional 19-inch, also in the 2-color scheme right here. Then you got stronger side bumper with the S model and also those contrasting mirror caps. And again, it will look similar in the S line. If you don't want to pick the biggest engine, just the styling element. And then the main design out here above the door handles goes all the way until the rear. You see a simple layout. I've put the wind deflector down so far. Here it looks like when it is up. And we will also soon show you how the car looks like when you put the roof up, because that has really changed this perspective. So with this beautiful car key, you can also open and close the roof. You have to click once and then twice, and then hold it, and then the roof also closes. 18 seconds to close it and 15 seconds to open it. And it's very interesting, you can do that up to a speed of 50 kilometers an hour, and that's pretty good. There we go. And the roof is not only available in black, it's a nice fabric structure, but and also pretty durable, so not like very old ones. This one can also stand outside. Also available in brown, red and gray. So what you can see here, that if you compare it to the predecessor generation, the car looks a little bit flatter. It actually is, but you won't lose headroom. That we'll show you very soon. And everything looks a little bit, let's say, cleaner, more aligned. So I think especially this is a good improvement. Also, if you look underneath the car, it has become 40 kilograms for the most engines lighter, and at the same time 40% stiffer. And both of those elements will probably give us a more agile ride than before. And finally, the rear, a little integrated rear wing, just a little notch, and I think that's very beautiful, just to keep it simple as well. And this is also the biggest difference between the real S5, and if you go for an S line, it counts for the whole A5 lineup, because here you got the 4 pipes in the rear, huge exhaust, and with a big diffuser. That is the only thing where you really can see that the S5 also has some massive sporty appearance. Other than that, LED taillights for all of the models, standard equipment, and also very widely horizontally drawn. Let's get inside, and the door handles flip up. Very interesting, and we leave the roof closed for a second because I can show you the headroom then better. And this is indeed a surprise. It doesn't look like here, but then the roof raises on the inside, and I'm 1.86 m or 6'1" and have plenty of headroom. So this is also suitable for tall drivers, even when the roof is closed. This has been improved if you compare it to the predecessor version. Really very good result, yet you get this very good insulation, the acoustic roof from standard equipment for every A5 convertible. Therefore it will also remain relatively silent. Then also the steering wheel can be adjusted in all of the 4 ways. Here we go, so pretty good adjustment possible here. The seats also with the electric adjustments in every ways, also with a massage function. And then the seat belts, here we go with some small knobs, and well, what it is, standard equipment as well. And those ones are the belt microphones that when you have your phone mounted with Bluetooth or also with Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, you can better understand and maybe you better be understood by other people, because the microphone is then closer to your mouth than it would be, somewhere else. Now let's open the roof again, let some sunshine in, and those middle buttons here, they are newly designed. And the interesting thing is, so when I'm standing still for safety reasons, I have to hold them. But when you're driving over 6 km/h, so just rolling, that no one will probably just reach with a hand or a head inside the car, then it's also possible just to click them once and leave hands on the steering wheel, just drive further, and then it works up to a speed of 50 km/h. So good comfort feature, and we will test that later on when we drive the car. Cockpit overview, as we use from Audi, very clean solutions, also with the horizontal layout again, and it's all about the new A5 versions, Coupe, Sportback, Convertible. It's basically all the same, and again with a great interior build quality. Here again the carbon strip right over there in a horizontal way. The AC can be reached right there. Also interesting that those air scarf function, that's the way they call it at Mercedes, let's call it the neck heater. Neck heater is also available with the button right here, and also seat heating, so separate buttons, you can reach those very easily. And the automatic shifting lever here, as I said, is the Tiptronic, so the converter gearbox, and in front of that MMI control terminal, so there's no touchscreen here yet. This one is also the optional touchscreen you can get. Is 7-inch it starts, and then 8.3-inch, that is this one. If you go for the highest trim for 3 years, also the satellite view is included, then you have to pay for it again. The basic menu, you can scroll around it with this MMI knob I showed you earlier, and for example you can also connect your telephone via Bluetooth, but you could also go for an Apple CarPlay menu, and this one then you can just put your phone in the middle part again. It's pretty easy actually. And so you have different solutions to connect your smartphone, and as soon as you connect your phone, there we go. I got, for example, Mad Sky here, and here I can play my music, but usually I just remain with Bluetooth. And then you can also have vehicle options, for example, Auto Drive Select, which we will explain you when we drive the car, or activate the driver assistance system and so on. If you turn on the ignition, there we are, parking aid and so on. This is all in German here, but I can truly translate, and sometimes it's also a nice service for our German viewers. They have to hear me talking English, then they can sometimes also see a German menu, don't you? Beverage holders here are also illuminated at night and adaptive, and it's an interesting solution that you can actually fit the key, not like this, but like this, you can fit the key right in here. Middle armrest, right here, you can have really fixedly attached, so slide in the front, good build quality. And below that, there's also the area where you can have the inductive charging for your smartphone and also 2 USB ports. Virtual cockpit, it's optional. You can just have analog gauges. This one then digital 12.3 inch. The sound, by the way, was the belt holder. Then you see 9.3 liter on 100 kilometers is our consumption if you drive slowly. If you hammer the throttle, it will be above 10 liters on 100 kilometers. You can change the view here. This is a little bit overloaded information. I'll just remain here with the sporty view. Then you can also have, for example, a small map in the left part. This is the advantage of a virtual cockpit. You can have different setups just as you prefer it. Interesting, in the highest trim level now, there's a new feature, so-called car-to-X communication, first introduced right here. And that means when you got an internet connection in the highest infotainment trim, and there are some dangers on the road, the car can communicate to a cloud. And from those information, again, other Audi drivers can profit from. There's always a thing about, data security and where in which direction is heading, but I think in this case, this is a useful feature, isn't it? What's your opinion? Inside of the doors, nice cover with Alcantara in the S5. Then those design elements here, either carbon fiber or aluminum style in the S5. In the A5 you can also get some other styles then. If we continue on further to the interior, in the S here we have the flat and the bottom steering wheel, very sporty one, and you see already the cockpit looks really sporty, very clean design. And then interesting as for the seat setup, basically for the convertible there are 2 seat forms. For the Sportback or for the Coupe you get 3 seat forms, normal, Sport and S Sport. Here just Sport and S Sport. And those ones here are the normal seats, and then different surfaces available. The strange thing is, it started with fabric seats, at least in Germany. They have removed that. It starts now with leather, so animal skin on the inside and leatherette on the outside. Then optionally, you can go for 2 different Alcantara seats. This one here is called Alcantara Frequenz in German, or frequency. You see this not through Alcantara as in the inside of the doors, has a little structure inside, but really interesting on the middle part. But then again, animal skin on the outside part, which is not really logical. I'm not sure why they're doing this. And then the other Alcantara on the inside and same on the outside then. So those choices you have, or full animal skin. And that's a little bit disappointing because, for example, Mercedes C-Class convertible, they offer leatherette seats full, fabric leatherette mix, Alcantara leatherette mix, and you can also have your steering wheel in leatherette, so also leather free. That's really looking into the future. What Audi does here is really backwards. I mean, the car is really perfect, but this is really, they're still lacking about, a consciousness about that. But this one here, as we have it right now, the best seat you can pick for this very car with this Alcantara Frequenz, at least in the middle part. And moving over to the rear seats, the wind deflector, see I put it up a little earlier, here like this, you can then fold it. In the 911, Porsche 911 convertible, there's this new mechanism that you also have an electric wind deflector. That's handier. Here's still the old solution, but it has a massive effect. You should definitely pick that. So 4 tall adults will not really work, but you can fit children in there. So ISOFIX anchor points on both of the seats. And the other possibility would be to flip the seats. You can put a bag on them like this, but you can also flip the seats to have something on there or to load things through. What about the trunk? 320 liter as it is right here now, and there's a net to secure things. And if you remove that, you can also look underneath, put the wind deflector there, for example, folded. It's a good solution. And then what is even more interesting, you can really use this convertible trunk very well, because with the new electric mechanism, before it was manual, you can remove this one here when the roof is up. And then you have 380 liters, and that's really a very good result for a convertible. Hardly any other convertible in this segment offers so much luggage space, and you can even flip the seats. So, what's under the hood here? Really impressive. Of course, the hood is also painted from the lower part, and also a nice engine layout with some red elements here. The V6 TFSI. That one is the turbo petrol engine, 6-cylinder of course, 3 liter of displacement, 354 horsepower, and the acceleration 0 to 100 kilometers or 62 miles an hour is 5.1 seconds, and that's almost a half second slower than the Sportback or Coupe. It's 0.4 seconds slower. It's because the convertible is always a little bit heavier. What other engines are there available in general for the A5 convertible? Petrol-wise, 4-cylinder, TFSI as well, 190 or 252 horsepower. And on diesel side, 2-liter diesel with 190 horsepower, or a 3-liter diesel with 218 or 286 horsepower. Wow, that was all by heart. That was great, wasn't it? And even more by heart, because other important facts are here. What about the automatic transmissions? This one here, the V6, the S5 convertible. This one is the only one besides the 3-liter diesel with 286 horsepower, just those two, have a converter gearbox. All the other ones, S-tronic dual clutch. This one here, Tiptronic converter. The other one's S-tronic dual clutch transmission. That's the biggest diesel and here the biggest petrol engine. They have so much torque, and that is obviously better bearable with a converter gearbox. And last fact for this one here, what about the all-wheel drive? Still a permanent one, and the basic setup is 60% in the rear and 40% on the front torque distribution, so a little rear bias. And then it can also be adjusted a little bit to go a little bit more percentage in the front and in the rear each, depending on the slippery or not conditions. Start right here in the countryside. This is the perfect area for the Audi S5 convertible. You see, we got all the windows and also the wind deflector up, that we have better sound in here. But this car, especially as we have above 10 degrees, well, 15, 16 degrees Celsius today, you could also drive with all the windows down. That's the most enjoyable convertible ride then. And this car here, especially the S version, is all about the strengthened agility. So you got a very good agile ride, dynamic steering. Look at that, how the commands are transported onto the road. This is really great, and we are in the normal efficiency mode. And here you can see, by the way, that the car does lean a little bit to the sides, and that's perfectly fine because we're in the rather comfortable mode. We can also check comfort, that's pretty much the same. And then there's also the dynamic mode, and this one here shifts down. This converter gears, now you see, now we got more stiffness at the side, so this gives you even more contact to the road, and so you're a little bit flexible. The difference between the riding modes are not totally huge, but you can definitely feel them. And the biggest thing is, of course, that the shifting is changed. And this car here with the V6 has so much power, 5.1 seconds, 0 to 100, and that's more than enough. And it's really about this torsional stiffness in the new generation. Audi engineers have done a lot to improve it. For example, there's kind of V form in the front of the engine. You will maybe seeing that also. It's really amazing. This connects engine compartment with the rest, and then there's two cylinders which increase stiffness. Then in the lower parts of the doors, because you don't have the roof, has been strengthened up a little bit, put higher and lower to get more stiffness there. And in the rear, there are basically two rings in the rear from steel that again increase the torsion stiffness. Overall 40% stiffness increase, and you can really feel that because it doesn't make such a difference anymore if you're riding the coupe or the convertible. Of course, the coupe is still stiffer. That's, I mean, no surprise at all. But here, I mean, look at that. 100 kilometers an hour, and I can switch that car around just as I like. It's really amazing. Of course, that's a U-turn here, by the way, just to show you that how agile the car is. Wow, so much fun, and I can really say it's one of the most fun cars to ride overall. And the reason is it is super sporty, but at the same time super comfortable. So you can have great sports cars, which, you know, are a lot of fun in racetrack driving or so, but you get lower back pain after a while, and it's not really for everyday driving. And with this car you can really do everything. So you can just relax the countryside here, but you can also really attack everything. So both is possible, especially here in the S version. Of course, you can just go for a cheaper version than the normal A5. It's, I mean, not a cheap car at all. Germany starts at 44,000 euros, the smallest petrol engine, then the S5, 68,000. What else is interesting? You got this some kind of launch control mode that you can have this over boost, all-wheel drive, 40% in front, 60 in the rear. Then it varies a little bit, and you can stop here and hammer the brakes, push through the throttle, boost, goes through, and then that was already 100. So you've experienced the 0 to 100 kilometers or 62 miles an hour acceleration just live now. And it was so fast, but at the same time it felt, let's say, it wasn't so annoying to me, it wasn't stressing my body too much because of the all-wheel drive. No tires burn on the road. All-wheel drive really got a great traction there, and you got a very harmonic, strong acceleration. That's really, really interesting. So riding-wise, I mean, fiercest competitors, and a car I also really love is Mercedes C-Class Convertible. You've probably also seen that review here. I've also tested the AMG version there, and I mean, both cars here, also the A5 and the C-Class Convertible, are, in my opinion, the best convertibles there are. Driving wise, I think this one is even better. You know, after driving this one here now for a longer time, I could really have to say probably this is the best convertible ever built. I mean, not in the, you know, character sense. If you take, you know, there are other very iconic cars, you know, a Jaguar E-Type or whatever. But I mean, like for a current car and technology-wise and what the car has to offer, probably really the best convertible ever. And by the way, you know about the seat issue. In the US, I've now checked again with Audi. It wasn't in the configurator yet, but it is said that in the US you will also get a full leather red trim. It's been said. And the other possibility is to go via Audi exclusive and then ask your dealer what exactly do you want to have, and then you can also place a custom order with full leather red or Alcantara or cloth also in the market where it is maybe not offered. So remember to get this one here next corner. Wow, such a great traction on the road with the all-wheel drive. Has a rear wheel bias, so it's definitely sporty enough. Great handling with even weight distribution, and such enjoyable ride. Also optional Bang & Olufsen sound system equipped with this car. What a crystal clear sound here from my music. Wow. That's so great. I can't leave the music on all the time because we never know if we get a rights issue on YouTube, you know, with the claim and stuff. But I can tell you, I've just driven some way with really music turned up all the way, and you're driving with the open top, but still have such a crystal clear sound. And yeah, I can just stress again, if someone wants to define Autogefühl, so direct translation car feeling, as some of you know, it's exactly this here: driving with the open top in a sporty car, which is still comfortable enough, listening to your favorite music, enjoying the countryside and the ride. That is just perfect. You know, it's 16.5 degrees Celsius, so it's not too warm but not too cold either. This is really perfect. And I mean, sometimes, you know, I have a lot of routine doing the car reviews, still trying to get, you know, some fun elements, some emotional elements in the reviews. But of course, you know, if you review so many cars, you don't tend to be like being favoring in this or that car or then. But this is one of the cars, you know, I would really say after driving it, damn it, I really want to keep it. Why do we have to leave this car? And you know, this has become very seldom, because the more cars you drive, you know, they're better cars and not that good cars, but you can drive so many cars which are still good, and it does not matter so much. It's not the world, but then there are very, very few cars where you say, I really, really want to have those. And Mercedes C-Class convertible and this one here, the A5 convertible or the S5 convertible, really belongs to those cars. So, and we'll have one more turn right here. And by the way, if I put in the reverse gear, there's also the optional new rear view camera with a great resolution, also a fake drone view from above, also well done. So, and well, this is of course great, the improved sound system. Then definitely the improved torsional stiffness, that you have you know, less difference between coupe and convertible. Also the acoustic roof, which is combined with acoustic windows, now that you not only have the insulation from the top, but also from the side. So less noise inside the car. At the same time, you've got the great sound here in the S5, for example. But I mean, you can also go for a basis A5, that will be fine as well. You can enjoy that one. It will still be sporty enough, also in the lower petrol engines, for example. Hey guys, got nice people in the countryside. And then you can, you know, more focus on enjoying nature and stuff. Of course, the S5 always gets you on drive, that you can enjoy the sportier ride. So more agile than ever, this car. And I think this was probably something that was a little bit missing. The previous A5 was already a really great convertible, but sometimes I felt, you know, on the paper, on the list, it's all great, but is it emotional enough for me? You know, where is the spice? Something like this. Maybe, you know, something sportier. I'm in the region of, you know, Grand GTs is maybe, but with this generation here, they really brought the missing spice therein, or let's say even more spice. And now I really think, you know, I've driven also like crazy supercars, like, you know, an Aston Martin V12 Vantage, something like that, and I really have to tell you, you know, some people say, oh, I want to drive a Bentley convertible. This car here is, to me, and you know, from my professional point of view, more desirable probably than any other convertible. I would prefer to an A3 convertible because it's more comfortable for me. If you're a little bit, you know, smaller in height, so you can easily go with the A3. And then if you think about bigger or even like double the price convertible like the Aston Martin stuff or Bentley or whatever. This one here is a clearly better car in every aspect. We always want to give you an insight of the everyday driving features, and one major thing about a mid-size convertible is how does it behave driving in the open top, also at higher speeds and also when you close the roof. We had a lot of questions here saying, hey Thomas, what about, new A5 convertible? Let's do some 60 to 120. Let's go. Yep, that's it. And that also directly leads us to the open top driving test. So I'm going to 120, which would be my maximum speed to recommend you to drive with an open top. And that works in an A5 convertible. Of course, we do get some wind sounds in here. I have the big wind deflector mounted, which is very important. That wouldn't work otherwise. 18 degrees Celsius at the moment. If you want to have it in Fahrenheit, just Google it, 18 C in Fahrenheit, and you'll get it. And this still works with this temperature. There's not too much air here around my head, and so much better than in most other convertibles. So this is definitely a convertible, windows up, with the big wind deflector. You can drive the fastest with the open top and still have very comfortable riding feeling. So very interesting. And we can also close the roof, and this new function, as I told you initially, when we're driving over 6 kilometers an hour, is also possible just to hit the button once. You don't have to hold it. Now just hit the button once, see it right here, and it closes. Very interesting. So that's really comfortable when driving, because I can take, for example, all my hands at the steering wheel still. And a very useful function. And you might wonder, why is it the case that it's not possible when standstill? Well, that's a security issue, or safety issue to be correct. Because it's always thinking, oh, when you're standing still, someone might grab inside, children playing and so on. So I mentioned that earlier, that's a very important but clever solution to make it work then at above 6 kilometers an hour. And now we'll clear the question then, what about the closed top? How much is there between the convertible and, for example, the coupe? This is a very interesting question. I've recently driven the predecessor A5 convertible on the German Autobahn at 160. We're in Spain here today, so it's not really possible to drive that fast. That's only possible in Germany. But we can give you a good impression, for example, here now at 100. It's really silent because with the A5 convertible in the new generation, this so-called acoustic roof is from standard equipment. So that is pretty good insulation package. You already get them for every A5 convertible, and that makes it relatively silent. I would really say, together with the Mercedes C-Class convertible, it's among the most silent soft top convertibles there is, and therefore it's also not a big problem to drive faster. Of course, when you really reach high German Autobahn speeds, you will notice a difference between a coupe and a convertible. Then the question is, are you driving 160, 180 every day on the German Autobahn and want it to be silent? Then it might make sense to go for a coupe, but hey, come on, you're missing all the convertible fun. So for me, I'm always telling you, if there's a choice between a convertible and a coupe, always go for the convertible. Even if the coupe looks a little bit better, convertible is more fun to drive, it's open top. And here, 120 now, and it's really okay. You hear the engine a little bit louder than anything else. Here I can go back to the D mode. And we are also already in the 8th gear of this 8-speed converter gearbox. Yes, again, this one is here, automatic converter. The overview, well, you have a good view to the sides because you don't have a B-pillar. That helps. To the rear, it's I mean, it's okay, now I'm looking through the wind deflector, but this new mirror, the central mirror without a frame, is also pretty pleasing. Talking about suspension, I can use the Audi Drive Select and go, for example, to comfort. That's not a big difference to auto. Efficiency, that's to increase the rolling when I leave off the throttle. Then the car rolls, does not decelerate that much. Doing a good job. So this sailing function is being used. And I can go to dynamic. Then, for example, also this S mode I was in earlier is activated. Shifts up later, shifts down earlier. You also hear it now again. And also the suspension is a little bit stiffer, but not really that uncomfortable. This one here, assistant systems, blind spot monitor, so I'm getting warned that there's someone approaching behind me. Also, I think main feature. And the ACC, now to this A4 estate in front of me, distance is being kept, and as for all of the MLB models in the Audi Corporation, we can have all of the modern assistant systems, also the traffic jam assist, the predictive assistant that helps you to reduce fuel, for example, looking at the map data, where there's a hill, where it goes down again. So pretty interesting systems, but most of them are really, or all of them are optional, so you have to look out that the car maybe does not get too expensive. That's always the case. So I think with open top and closed top, both good performance. Here again, some changes back and forth, just to irritate some people. No, just to test for you. So it's really a lot of fun, even cruising with the car. So I think cruising test is easily solved. Both great results, also for the wind noise with open and closed top. And I mean, the previous generation was already good at that, but here in both disciplines, clearly a better result even than before. And shifting back manually, so to leave you with some sound here maybe. There we go. And now to our final conclusion for today, Audi A5 Convertible, or the special version we portray today, the Audi S5 Cabriolet. Well, if you say cabriolet or convertible, it's up to you really, just stating different names then. And what is clear that it is almost a perfect car, a perfect mid-size convertible. I mean, the exterior, it's as beautiful as ever. If you like the very early A5 version more, or this one here, it's also just personal taste. Overall, it's still a very beautiful car, especially also in this very strong Misano red color. The interior, so refined, a great interior build quality, and also very clean design. I like that. The only flaw we found that, I mean, the seats we have here, you should pick those, but that they're still using a lot of real animal skin, which is totally unnecessary, and Mercedes shows it, for example, that you also do have to offer other possibilities. So I would say, beside this one issue, this is the perfect car to have a lot of Autogefühl, we can say so, in your life, a car feeling. And I would then also go probably for this car here myself, if I just want to have a car which I can have a lot of fun with and really can drive all season long with the open top and enjoy that. Maybe you think so as well, then give me your comments here in the section below, and also compare some other videos of mid-size convertibles. We will also link to those. Thank you very much for tuning in to Autogefühl today, and also tune in next time.